Rugby League World Cup round one around the grounds. We're looking at pools A through D. We're looking for our players of the match. Miles, I'm going to start you off quick. England v Samoa. Who have you got?
Mate, it was hard to go past Dom Young. He absolutely killed it out there. Showed us, why he's been so good for the Knights over this season. I think he was probably their best player in the NRL this year. If you didn't watch much highlights of Dom Young, there weren't many for the Knights this year, but he was certainly a big part of that. And I had to just, give a big rap to their outside backs. Their centre pairing, we spoke about it at length in our review, but he's a big reason why they got off to their sets at the start really well. And Dom Young definitely got them off to a very hot start, and it's probably why they won 60-6.
Showed a ton of speed in that game, ton of talent. I've got to go Jack Wellesby. So the man who was throwing him all those passes, 3 try assists, 1 try, just a really vintage game for a young playmaker. It's going to be a big test to see how he goes against the bigger teams, but in that one, he was exceptional. Next up here, Australia 42 to 8 against Fiji. Who have you got as your man of the match there?
Yeah, I think with Australia, it was a bit tough, but it was hard to go past their youngster and my boy Jeremiah Nanai. I look at him like a son. He came into the league this year in NRL and just absolutely lit it up, and did the same for Australia here. After Fiji got off to a hot start, Fiji were looking pretty good there for the first 15, 20 minutes of that game, and Australia kind of warmed into it and ended up putting a lot of points on the board. But I don't know if the letter's gotten out on him yet that he's got a lethal right foot step, and I wait for it every game. He's so good in the air as well, so you've got to watch out for that. But just the bang off the right, and he steps straight through the line and absolutely punished Fiji there for making the miss. Was an exceptional highlight, and good to see him kicking off Australia's campaign.
Yeah, he's a really versatile offensive player. Just exceptional. Show why he should be in the squad there too. I've got to go Josh Adokar for this one. 220 meters, had 3 line breaks, 2 tries, made everyone look like they were running on treadmills on that try where he just ran around 4 or 5 guys. Like, he's beautiful to watch. Should have been there for the Blues this year. Rightfully there for Australia. We're happy to see it.
Yeah, no, I think you and the whole of New South Wales were disappointed when he wasn't picked. I think you got to go with the incumbent until he plays himself out of that jersey. You got to go with him. He's got speed that can't be matched by literally anyone that I've seen ever take the football
Fastest
field.
man on the planet, mate. Fastest man on the planet. Speaking of speed, we're rolling through Scotland v Italy. Who's your man?
So Italy was interesting. We had a bloke who not many people know, Jack Mason, on debut, scored 3 tries. And that's his first game for Italy, first game at this level. Not only did he have 3 tries, he broke 5 tackles, and he also ran for over 240 meters. So Italy were outsiders coming into this game. They were $4 outsiders, and they absolutely blew Scotland off the park. And Jack Mason and Daniel Atkinson, his centre pairing, were big parts of that.
Love to see that. Love to see that. I've got to go, my boy here, Nathan Brown. Just part of the big part of that squad there. But really, who I'm going to focus on there is Dean Paratar as well. So been around the para system for a long time. Ton of talent there. He's probably my man to watch in that game. Jamaica v Ireland next up.
Yeah, good to see Jamaica get their first points at this level of football. It's a feel-good moment if I've ever seen one. Kind of like when Rudy runs onto the field and they let him play that last down. Unfortunately for Jamaica, I think the scary thing about this game is that Luke Keary didn't have a single try assist or try, and they still got beaten by 46 points. So we're going to have to see where their head's at. The guy that I want to highlight, though, actually didn't even play the whole game. He played 50 minutes, and that's Jamin Jolliffe. So Jamin Jolliffe started this game, but didn't play all of it and ran for over 200 meters in a 50-minute performance. Now, that kind of output is ridiculous at this kind of level, and he also busted about 5 tackles. But I think with Jamaica, they they do have a lot to be happy about. They're here now. They didn't get 50 put on them, and I would take that as a win. And I think their captain really stood up. Ashton Golding, we highlighted him in our preview as well. He ran for over 100 meters, also had 55 tackles, and that's something that can't go unnoticed. And big raps on this kid at this point in time.
Fair play, fair play. I've got to go Luke Keary. I just think it's really cool to see, like, not necessarily on gameplay, but it's just great to see him sort of smiling on the sideline. He's had a tough year, a couple of years with injuries and concussions and that sort of thing. So this is great for him just to be able to prove himself again in a pretty tough sort of arena there, especially playing for Ireland. It's going to be challenging the next couple of weeks, but all they've got to do is win one game and they're probably through to the next round. So yeah, anything can happen. Look, next up here, New Zealand v Lebanon. Who is your standout here?
I mean, I think he was everyone's standout. Joseph Manu. The guy just makes shit happen. Every time he gets his hands on the ball, whether he's playing at center, 5'8", fullback, I still don't know. I couldn't tell you what his best position is because I think he might be the best in the league at all three positions. That's on his day. It's a weird thing to kind of witness a guy who can be so transcendent across the back line that you, as a coach, would look at it and go, far out. Where do I put him? Because he's just so good in every position. And sometimes he's popping up through the middle of the ruck. He's finishing off plays. He's creating plays himself. And, having a guy who in your team who can break 15 tackles in one game is just an absolute testament to the kind of player he is. He's hard to bring down. He didn't finish the season, I think, the way he wanted to in the NRL, and that could be playing a part here in this World Cup run for New Zealand if they're to go all the way.
He needs to be a fullback. I think that's what he said in this game, and that's what he says every time he lines up a fullback. He's top 5 fullback in the game, and he doesn't get to start there any weeks. So, yeah, I think he needs to find a place to be a fullback. My guy to watch here, a little bit different. Not in the winning team, and look, Lebanon were 18-12 with 27 minutes to go. They nearly scored a try to get even in this game, and the scoreline doesn't reflect how close this game was. It was nearly 18-all with 27 to go. So I thought they put up a good performance. I'm going to go Adam Dewey. He had a mixed bag of a game. He had a really classy 40-20, some nice attacking plays, got himself sent off the field with a sin bin there. That's not the best, but he just showed a lot in this game, and him and Mitch Moses, the halves pairing, are going to trouble a lot of teams. But look, New Zealand, it's a tough first assignment. Next up here, France and debutants, Greece.
Again, I think Greece getting their Rugby League World Cup cherry popped is great. You love to see their first points as well, and we highlighted that with Jamaica just gone. Their last try was an outstanding try, a little crossfield kick for the winger, and he just showed awesome speed to get there. I think the guy that you've got to look at, though, in this game played for France, and his name is Benjamin Julian. He had 2 tries, 2 line breaks, ran for over 100 meters, and also broke a number of tackles. He showed the other day that he runs a good line. He's a pretty big dude to bring down as well, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what he can do in this World Cup because, as we spoke about with France, they've got that level of chemistry, kind of like a PNG, but they play a very different style, and it's more silky, a bit more finesse game rather than, in your face trying to terrify the living shit out of you. But I do like Greece, and I think that their effort in this game can't go unnoticed, and they really hung in there and didn't give it up, which is the important part for a team. You're getting hammered 34-6. It's very easy to give up, but they got the final say in there. They scored. So that's something that they can definitely take away from this game.
Yep. And on Greece, I'm going to go Sateni Takamo for my player to watch there, just because I saw so many clips of bars in Greece and, all these different places where they reacted to that first try. And they were down, I think it was 30-0 at that point of the game. And just to see that elation and that reaction from them in getting that first try, absolutely love that. That's what the international game is good for. That's what the World Cup's for. And for Greece, 34-12. I mean, against an experienced France side, you made it. That was the win. To get a couple of tries, that's even better. I hope they can.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them get an upset at some point, but look, they'll take the wins they can get. Next game up, Matema Tonga against our friends Papua New Guinea. Really controversial game. Who is your man to watch in this one?
Yeah, just based on pure presence, I had to go with Edwin Ipape. The guy just absolutely beasted it. He was, you know, every time he got the ball, he was making stuff happen, and it was kind of like, a bit of a Joey Manu performance for New Zealand, but just maybe not on the same level. He, ran for over 190 meters. We highlighted him a bit in our other video and a more in-depth look into this game, but just wasn't enough to get Papua New Guinea over the line. And I think they would have loved to walk away from this game with the 2 points. But Tonga, being the powerhouse that they are, I expected them to dominate this game a little more, being as short a favorite as they were. But they're a little.
I think the bookies expected that. You tipped PNG in this one.
Yeah, well, I love an upset, but I'm a realist, not a fantasist. I would say that Tonga didn't come out and play the kind of style that they wanted to because PNG didn't let them. And as the game kind of wore on, you saw a bit of, experience at the highest levels of football take place with the amount of players that Tonga have that play at NRL level, and it kind of took over the game. But it also, luck played a pretty big part in them winning this game, Tonga. So you got to credit the refs for that one, and we walk away with our heads held high if you're a PNG fan. But Tonga, they should go through with 3 wins, but I'm a little tentative on saying how far they could go in this competition.
Yeah, and look, we've got a full breakdown on that game as well. That's just been recorded before this, so I've heard all these opinions about half an hour ago. But, look, for me,
sick of hearing me speak.
No, I could never get sick of that. But look, Tonga's going to have plenty of chances through this tournament. So I'm going to focus on PNG as well, just because they were not expected to get this close. We backed them, but people weren't really backing them to get close in this game. They were paying $13. I went with Reece Martin, just because 41 consecutive goal kicks in a row is crazy, and he started the game with a try to open things up too. So really good performance from the back rower. Just showed a lot of leadership in that team, and there are a few guys in that team that it could have gone to as well. Final game here, we have Wales versus the Cook Islands. Really close game here as well. Who is your call out to finish things off?
I think my call out would be Kale Iro. I'm wearing the Newtown Jets merch. We're here supporting my boy. But I just think the whole back 5 for the Cook Islands were extremely important. 4 out of the 5 of them ran for over 200 meters, and that's an insane output for a team that isn't particularly favored in this World Cup, or not particularly favored to go through. So I will be interested to see their matchup with PNG to see how they fare. But Wales actually had a chance to tie this game late. You actually watched the game, they had the ball, they charged down a kick from PNG and took it into the red zone. And Kale Iro is the guy who made that try-saving tackle as well. So I think the kid's got a big future in the NRL if he can keep putting in performances like this. He played fullback, which is not the position he even plays at the reserve grade level for the Newtown Jets. So I got to give big raps to him. And I think if Wales were a bit smarter with their last player and didn't try to rush it, they could have walked out of this game with a draw. And it would have been very interesting to see that happen.
That would have been huge. Would have been huge. I don't know if it affects who comes out of this pool. I still think PNG and Tonga will tell them up. But look, for this game, I've got a few guys that I liked. Isan Masters showed a lot. Wearing this, well, he wasn't wearing the 6 jersey, but lining up at number 6 to start things off. Showed a lot of toe, ran 200 meters, 6 tackle breaks. The other one was Davey Moale. I think his try showed a lot of determination as well. And he's a young prop sort of coming through. And those guys, sometimes as they get into their sort of mid-20s, they kick on as they get that sort of old man strength going about them. So
big boy.
It just takes a bit of time, right? at that prop position, soften it up. Not everyone's Payne Haas, you know. So this could be a good
As much
series
as
for
I'd
him.
like them to be.
No, I'd rather Junior Paulo and Regan Campbell-Gillard, mate.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, look, that's our run around the grounds. That's our sort of favorite players to watch from each game. Not necessarily a pick for man of the match or anything like that, but just the guys we were interested in and the guys we really enjoyed watching. So thanks for joining us. We're going to keep doing previews. Any content you want to see, shoot us a comment there. Otherwise, let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Cheers.